Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to divide by sheep. So I'm not 100% sure where we stopped last time. So yeah, let's just make an assumption here that we were, say, about here and just jump in there and see if that is a good place to start at least. Well, pretty obviously what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have everything set up. So we need straight up 4 here, which is not hard to do. So then it is just going to be a matter of, I guess you can do that. Nope, these aren't even TNT, are they? And I think this is one we've already done. Yeah. Okay. So the question then is going to become, how can we get as many things on the platform as fast as possible here, because we got to get the exact right number. So if I jump this here, that's going to be 1, then I jump this here, that's going to be 2, so then there should be 6 sheep, but then I jump here and it's going to turn into 4, and so that's not going to really work. So it's probably smart to start with this and then this. Do that. Nope, you can't do that, can you? And we are 1 shy. So I think the move is probably to lose the least amount of sheep. And so those probably are your first 2 moves. And then, if I was to guess, the next move probably is to take this here and do that. Okay. So now it's just a matter of, if I get 4 here, which I could do, jump here once, it dies once, that'll get it down to 3, jump one here once, it'll lose 1 and 2, and that'll get it down to 2. The question, I guess, just comes down to, how do we do this so we lose the least amount? And we should probably just add this up to make sure. See, now this is weird. As far as I can tell, there's 5 here, and then there's 4 here, and then there's 2 here. So that should be 11. No matter what you do, you're going to lose 1 down to 10 at that point. But I guess it doesn't really matter that much. So I can lose 1 this direction, or let's just see what happens here. So now the question is, if we throw 2 here, we'll lose 1. And it really makes a lot of sense to put this here. Of course, we're just going to continuously lose things. And if we put 2 on the platform at the same time, we're going to lose twice as many things. So maybe the move is to reduce your losses. But if I get 2 here, That's going to put you at 4 here, and then when you go over here, you're at 3, and then that goes down to 2, and you're just too short. So maybe you just lose 1 at the first move. Like that. Maybe that is the entirety of the trick. And then if we jumped back here, that would take a 7 down to 6. And then if we jumped down here, that would take the, what would be a 5 down to a 4. Then make it a 3. Making me heavily suspect that the move is probably something closer to this. Alright. So then the question is, how do we get 1? That just doesn't seem like that plays. A certain level, if we did this, and then we did this, you get to 5. Okay. Which that bumps the number up. Did I really need to bump the number up? So let's just finish this first one. We know that's wrong. But let's see what happens if we did the math here. That gets you 3. Which implies to me the move is to have 7 always. So the first step, I think, is to probably throw that there. That's the only way you're going to get your 1. And then if we threw this in this direction, you would have 5, 4, 3. That should be right. Okay. There's just no way to move things down. If we jump here, we'll lose 1. If we jump here, we'll lose 1 and 2 there. I don't think that there's any way you're supposed to jump here and then jump over to that point. If we jump over here, we'll do 1 death. We want 4 deaths, though, very specifically. Which if we did 5, that would kill 2, then another 2. But that's not the right move. Kind of obvious. Oh man, it definitely feels like today's a fresh day, and it definitely feels like I'm gonna have to use some kind of walkthrough to finish this series. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have entire episodes where I make no progress at all. Okay, so we have to run out of. We have to do 5 here and then somehow 2 deaths. I don't even know how that works. Like, that alone should do 3. So then the next step here should do let's see, if we jump this here, would that kill anything extra? No, that'd be the exact right amount. Okay. So now we are at 8. We want 7 when we're done. This would kill 3. So how in the world are you supposed to get 4 deaths? 1 move. There's your 3. And that's going to be 2, and that's going to be wrong. Do that, and that'll get you 7. So it does seem like if I could figure out the move here. Somewhat quicker. Which may very well just be a case of letting... Yeah, you can't do that. You can't eliminate the center. So it's got to be either putting these 2 here or letting this run out. Okay. Now, if I threw an 8 in here plus 4, would that kill exactly 3 or would that kill more than 3? I think it would kill more than 3. So I think you have to do that at that point. Okay. First move kills 2, then 1. And if we jump over here, that's 1 short. Then we'd have to jump over here, and then jump back over here, and we'd actually be 1 short there also. Okay. So what did I just do to reach that? I played this into this spot. Let's see what happens if we do this into that spot. Okay. Now the question is, do we throw this or do we throw this? That's 1. Which means that's going to be wrong. And we ended up with actually 1 extra in that case. So we probably are close to being correct. So maybe the move is to do this. Then do this. No, but that's still 1 too many. If you did this, it's going to be way too much death. So theoretically, this shouldn't change if I were to move this piece over here first. So we've tossed that that way, so maybe it's that. Nope. So, yeah. Theoretically, it seems like if you did that and that should still get you the first step. And then, what would happen if we just jumped that way? Okay. There's no way you're gonna get just 1 death from that spot. And then you'd have to merge so many things, you'd be so low. We did that, and then that. that too also seems to work. Then I guess the question is, if we did this, that's the right number. If we jump here, we're now at 7. I believe 3 plus 3 plus 7 plus 1, although it's in a weird place. And there we go, we've gotten one puzzle done. So I guess as long as we're still making progress, things look good. Now this one could be difficult. Okay. We know if we're maximized at... Let's see. Well, first of all, we need 6. So we can only lose 3 sheep. Or 6 halves of sheep, which I suspect is where this is really going to go. If we were to swap there... Okay. And then if we're to swap here, it wouldn't really matter if I knocked this down to 3. The only thing I guess might matter is if we want to keep some sheep alive. Okay, so we now want 4. This would give us 1.5. This would give us 1.5. And this would give us 1. So that's your 2-star. The question then would come down to how can we get that down to 2? You need another half sitting around somewhere. Which I think probably implies. But you can't do anything. Like, the math actually doesn't lie. Here, does it? And the 3 here is the same as the 3 here, limiting how everything is going to go. So, unless, and you can't combine anything, can you? So I can't just like swap that way. So this should just be the most basic of basic math. There really should be no way that this plays out any differently. It's just a order of operations. Let's see, either I'm to throw, say, this here, and then this here, and not even kill anything. And then I have a 1, but then there's just no way to, or I have a 1.5 here, but then there's also no combination, 1.5s and 1.5s. So I must not kill this 1, I guess. It's probably the way this is supposed to go. Which means if we were going to get a 5 accurately, you would do it like that. Okay. Then what? This becomes 1.5. This becomes 1.5. You throw this in here, and there's your 1, and there's your 2. Another prime example of just me getting my brain stuck in one way of thinking, because once again, that felt very easy once I was on the right order. So these guys are just gonna die. The only real question is there perhaps a desire to reduce how fast they die, so I could possibly have some deaths by the time we got to that point. Nope. But this is an easy puzzle. You just throw these here. It doesn't matter that they're dying. You throw this way, it gets reduced from 7 to 6, and then here's your 7. Then you just throw that way. And I was 1 short. Okay. Oh, so this is more complicated than I thought. And I can't throw a wolf. Like it would look like you could throw a wolf and secure the position here. And then that would be your 3 death. And then you could bounce all of that way. And then you could do all of that. By the time you get the wolves to the place, these guys are going to be gone. Alright. But then there is just no way you kill these 6 that way. So, let's ask this question. What if I was to just like bounce this here to start with? That gets you to the first step. Then it would just be a matter of how do we get the wolves over here. Because if you throw the wolves, then they're all satisfied, they won't go any further. And my thought that moving something over here would be helpful just doesn't really play out. There's really no other way to kill these sheep. If there was a way to move platforms, maybe there'd be a way to kill a sheep. Actually, I could just jump this back this way and that would kill them all. That's just not the right number. So it kind of just feels like the math is wrong. If I was to throw this here, and then if I could just find a way to get these guys out of the way. It's also probably worth pointing out that if I was to move this over here and then reduce this by 1 at that point and then do this, then you only have 5 wolves. So that's absolutely the wrong move. That, and that. So by the time you're at this platform, you will always be short of any extra characters. Would there be any move here possibly that could reduce the number of wolves? I just don't see a reason why you'd even want to reduce the number of wolves. Though. Yeah, even if the numbers were right. Here, how could you otherwise keep these guys alive? Feels like there should be a swap here or something. If there was a yellow and black bannered section here where you could swap these two, that would make sense. Is there anything more you could do with the wolves? So what if we perhaps did this? And that clears that area. Then what? I mean, that does absolutely nothing for you. Is there perhaps some trick here where wolves can jump over fences? And I just never had to use that feature at all in the rest of the game? No. Doubt that's the case. We can move back and forth here all we want, and that's not going to reduce the number. Oh, it really is just an order of operation thing, isn't it? You have to come over here and kill that one sheep, so you have 6 to start with before you land the wolves. Then you jump the wolves. Interesting. So, move is pretty simplistic. You just do this, and then guess you do this, then you do this, then this, then this, then this, then you do this, then you do that. So we're at 85 stars now for Dark World. Looks like we have only one more from where we started. So we want 2 deaths, but we want 6 wolves, which means at some point we've got to figure out a way to have 2 wolves reduced. Let's see. Putting this with this would get you like that initial 2 deaths. Then we want this 3 and 3 wolves probably kept alive, or at least there's some thought of that. That's not gonna really work. And 3 and 3 won't even work. Yeah, 3 and 3 are about the only thing that would work. But yeah, there's just no way to get rid of these things, get these out of the way. You do that, and you do that, and they're still in the way. Let's see. I think the move might very well have been to reduce this down to 3, so then you would eat 3. See, because this is now a big problem where you have only 4 sheep. Then you go down this way, you're going to be down to 3 sheep. And that wouldn't have worked anyways. You probably would have had to have it here while you threw it over here to swap those out around. We need big numbers of sheep out of the way. I think quickly. Okay. Let's take that off to start with and then see if we can make the next logical leap. These guys just have to be out of the way, one way or the other. So either this is going to go back here and just die, or these are going to end up landing here, one way or the other. There's just no way you're going to get 8 sheep in one move. Which means there has to be some kind of merging, but then some kind of unmerging. And there's no way to do that. I need one of these piles of wolves to just completely disappear. Or this is probably either the point or past the point where you should have split. Yeah, it's not enough wolves now. Yeah, I don't see a solution here at all. But I've said this so many times, and then I've proved myself wrong so many times. But yeah, I really am questioning what would be the case here is that we need the wolves out completely. Just completely out of the way. Again, wolves can't jump over the barbed wire fences. So you have to move the wolves over in this direction. And then I guess the question is probably a case where we have to merge everything into one pile, but you can't do one pile. But if I don't, at the very least, say introduce that and that, there we have a 2, which would be reduced to a 1, which is far too few wolves. That's far too few sheep. This could add to 1 sheep. This could add that way. And there you have a 6 and 6. If both times they would have to stand on the platform for like that amount of time. The question still is just going to come down to where do we get the numbers? I wonder if this is just straight up a swap. It must be. That seems to mirror the idea really nicely, actually. If you were just supposed to swap here and here, and then we have a 5 and 5, and then swap this around to line that all up, and then I guess the question is, how do we swap here, because there's no swapping spots? So to me it seems like what we have to do is probably swap this Are we supposed to bring this back this way? Probably not. It does feel like the symmetry would be to combine that. It kind of feels like you should probably swap these two, but I'm not gonna really buy into that idea yet. So we might be slightly off. Okay. Probably doesn't hurt to do some setup there. I do feel like I'm going to be off on the numbers, but if I was to combine these two, that would lose me more than would be helpful. And if I play this here and swap this, I will have the exact 3 I would need, plus then I can reduce this 6 to a 5. So that does feel like the numbers are working. Okay. So let's go ahead and take the wolves off now. So after a lot of struggle, I've managed to get that far, and I'm going to assume that that is correct. Then what we need to do is just reduce this 5 to a 3, which is not that hard actually. We just jump here and that, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then it swaps. And then the next move is to just get that off the platform. So there's our 5 now out of the way. The only real problem is that the numbers are going to be slightly off, but I don't think that actually matters. You just put this back here, do that, and there's your 2. So now we only need a 4. You do that, and there's your 4. And look at that. All my whining about there not being a solution, and there is. So we've done pretty good here for Dark World. We just have, I guess, this one, this one, this one, and it's got to be another one, doesn't there? 1, 2, 3. Weirdly, I'm overlooking something. Let's just look at every single one. 1, 2, 3 stars, 3 stars, 3 stars. 1 here is missing. 2 are missing. 3 are missing. Yeah. So, yeah. There should be 4 missing. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're right next to each other. That's why I'm overlooking it, which that probably highlights some of my problem overlooking things too. So I'm going to kind of just assume that that was the right place. We have 2 more puzzles, or 2 more stars at least, that we need to get for Ice World, and then Green World is already at 90 out of 90 stars. So we are in a good position, I suppose. At least a good enough position to make 1 more episode without immediately reverting to, or devolving, I guess might be the better term, because we haven't cheated yet. Devolving the cheating. But yeah, I think the next episode may very well be the make or break point as far as can I naturally, without cheating, solve the remaining puzzles. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching. Thanks.